What's up, everybody? This is the fantasy forecast here on Player Profiler. I'm your host, Stacey Perez. Today is March 20th, which means March Madness is here. That's basketball world. We're talking fantasy football. We can get a little mad of our own over here and maybe do some way too early first round draft predictions. Let's get to it. First overall, come on, guys. You know who this is going to be, right? Saquon Barkley, without a doubt. He generated plus 496 yards over expected in the second half of last season. And that is the most by any player since 2018. Okay. He is an absolute lock for your 101. No problem in taking him there. I'm not concerned about it at all. Think he has another phenomenal year in Philadelphia. Number two, we've got Ja'Marr Chase. I mean, I think you could probably make an argument for taking Ja'Marr Chase at number one, too. If perhaps you like wide receivers a little bit more than you like running backs, I'm totally fine flip-flopping them here. But I don't see how these two players get out of this first round of the draft without being number one and number two, whichever way it shapes up. Now, Ja'Marr Chase, back to him. He became the sixth player in the Super Bowl era to win the Triple Crown last year. And also, if you had him on your roster, you know this stat. He came away with 23.7 points per game in PPR formats last season. How do you not love that? That is your highest scoring wide receiver. Love it. Number three, I'm going to give you Jahmyr Gibbs, Detroit Lions running back. You know this guy. He is fast. He is explosive. And in his third season, of course, we're putting him in the third spot overall, right? He ran for at least 5 rushes of over 20 yards, not 20 yards, 20 miles an hour or more last season. He was tied with Derrick Henry in that stat, second only to Saquon Barkley. All right. So, like I said, guys, this guy's fast. He loves to get down the field. Um, we have David Montgomery there. We're not to be worried about that. We're still taking Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round. Listen, with Monty on the field, Gibbs was still getting that lion's share of the snaps. Guys, I know that was really cheesy. I'll see myself out on that one. Take Gibbs at number three. You will not be disappointed. Now, number four is going to be Justin Jefferson. And it doesn't matter who's at quarterback. It can be Sam Darnold. It can be JJ McCarthy. It could be Aaron Rodgers, although I don't think that's going to happen. But it doesn't matter who is going to be throwing him the ball. He is still going to produce. Okay. He put up over 1,500 yards last season, plus 10 touchdowns. He brought home 18 points per game for your fantasy squads. You have to love that kind of production. That's why we are taking Justin Jefferson at number four. Now, number five, we've got Bijan Robinson for you. And I can tell you, there is nothing that I love more as a fantasy manager than absolute consistency out of my players. I want to go into a draft and I want to get guys that I can put in my lineup, no questions asked. Set and forget. I don't have to worry about it. I'm not stressing out on Sunday. I'm enjoying watching the games because I know that I have got the most consistent producing guys in my lineup, right? That's Bijan Robinson for you. Last season, he posted 11 20+ point performances, and he never once scored under double digits, right? You have to love that kind of production from your running backs. Now, number six, I'm going to give you King Henry. And there is nobody aging as gracefully as King Henry is. Okay. He may be 31, but until he starts showing some signs of decline, he is a smash in the first round. He was your RB4 overall in fantasy last season. He took it to the house 18 times. And if you tell me I can get a player in the first round of a draft who is going to guarantee me a touchdown every single game this year on average, absolutely, I want him on my squad, right? Number seven, I'm going to give you another Detroit Lion. That is Amon-Ra St. Brown, or the Sun God, as I like to call him. Now, do we have a few questions? Of course we do. Ben Johnson, OC, he's gone out of Chicago. What happens now that Jameson Williams has kind of taken a step up, leveled up his game a little bit, and then you've got the running game that they just continue to, use and just run into the ground there in Detroit. Now, does that mean that I'm concerned about Amon-Ra St. Brown in the first round enough to maybe knock him to the second? Not in the slightest, okay? He is a fierce competitor, and that is something that he has shown over and over and over again. He finished last season number one overall in red zone receptions and wide receiver three overall in fantasy. Now, I'm going to look for him to continue thriving in that Lions high powered offense, and I am still taking him in the first round. Number 8, I'm going to give you CeeDee Lamb. This guy was an absolute yak monster last year, yards after catch. He generated the third most at 750 yards last season. Look, by his standards, did he have a little bit of a down year? Sure, but he still walked away as wide receiver 5 in fantasy, and he's getting Dak Prescott back, hopefully healthy, hopefully for the entire season. Going to give you a little bit more stability, hopefully boost those passing numbers in that Cowboys offense. Now, number 9, how do you not love Puka Nacua here at number 9? Look, are we worried about the injury history that, kind of plagued him a little bit last year, missed several games? He's got a new guy on the field there with Devontae Adams, who, let's be real, he's better than Cooper Kupp at this point in the game. Yeah, maybe all those things are a little bit of question marks, but they're not question marks enough to knock him out of the first round. So I want to just remind you of what he did last season once he returned from his injury. He had 75 receptions, 955 yards after his return, which was second only to Ja'Marr Chase. I mean, for that alone, he deserves to be in the top 12, right? Now, number 10 and 11 and 12 are all going to be guys that are going into their sophomore season, outstanding rookies from last year. Number 10 is going to be Brian Thomas Jr. I have a fun fact for you for this player. He is one of only 4 rookies last year in the Super Bowl era to have over 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns. You want to know who else did that? OBJ, Randy Moss, and the aforementioned Ja'Marr Chase, who we're going to keep mentioning with some statistics here that I've got for you with the last few guys. Now, our wide receiver 4 overall last year, Brian Thomas Jr., he's only standing to benefit more from the fact that Christian Kirk's gone, Evan Ingram's gone. Who's he going to be fighting for targets with? Gabe Davis? I don't think so. It's Brian Thomas Jr.'s world, and we are all just living in it, okay? Malik Nabers coming in as my 11th overall pick. He, I think, has firmly cemented himself in the camp of receivers who can produce no matter who is at quarterback. And I mean, that's just a sign of an elite talent, right? So thank goodness for that, because as of now, the only person the Giants have on their depth chart is Tommy DeVito. So hopefully they get that figured out before August rolls around. Now, Nabers last year had an 8-game streak of 50 or more receiving yards last season. That was only 1 game shy of OBJ's 9-game streak, which was the most by a rookie since 1970. I have another stat for you. He was only 5 targets behind our leading target monster, Ja'Marr Chase. Surprise, surprise. It's funny how his name keeps coming up, right? Now, last pick, number 12, Brock Bowers, a tight end. Yeah, I said it, a tight end in the first round, all right? Am I crazy for taking a tight end in the first round? No, I'm not, and I will tell you why. Because given his absolutely insane production and the fact that he managed to do everything that I'm about to tell you he did with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell slinging him the rock, I'm even more excited for him in 2025 now that he has an upgrade with Geno Smith, right? So let's not forget, among his many, many accomplishments last year, here's what Brock Bowers did, okay? He had 108 receptions, which was the most by a rookie in NFL history. Not only that, he was only 8 receptions behind Zach Ertz's 16, where he had the most receptions by a tight end in NFL history. Not just rookie, no, NFL history, okay? He also broke Mike Ditka's record from 1961 for the most receiving yards by a rookie tight end, okay? Brock Bowers is an absolute stud. He is a lock for the first round for me, number 12. If he gets past the first round for you, I want to come play in your leagues. All right. Guys, that is going to do it for us today here at the Fantasy Forecast. Hope you enjoyed our little bit of madness, mock draft style here with us today. Thanks so much for hanging out. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure that you are staying up to date with all of our off-season news here at Player Profiler. Guys, I will be back soon. See you then.